How are we doing, YouTube? It's your friendly gamer SmartEntity here. So this is just going to be a sort of discussion stream, if you like. I'm just going to talk about current issues with the game, things to discuss, and basically things I'll probably be doing in the future in my channel. So to begin with, I'll do a quick update on trading. Now, for those that have seen my first trading video, which was quite literally the first proper video I made right after my introductory video, a lot of people saw a lot of good advice. A lot of people have commented saying, they made a lot of good trades because of my advice. And for those that haven't seen the video, I definitely recommend checking it out. And as far as what gives me the credibility to make this trading video is that I have made over 20,000 plat from trading alone. So I never spent any money in this game, and this is all just from trading. So a bit of an update. Basically, as say compared to 1 month ago, trading prices have not changed that much. This is on PC, by the way. I can't really speak for PS4 because there is a delay with regard to updates. But with the PC, there haven't been much change with trading prices. Only main difference is that you get these arcane helmets, which are tradable, and you can't get them anymore. So for those that don't know, arcane helmets are sort of the old helmets that players used to have access to, that gave slight stats changes. Give a bit of a boost on one side and then a bit of a sort of handicap on another. Now you can't get these arcane helmets anymore, other than from trading with players that already have them. So this is what I recommend. If you don't have a certain arcane helmet, I would say it's okay to spend, say, up to 40 plat on a helmet these days. Now, the thing with these helmets is they are useful in very specialized situations, but they're pretty not worth a lot. And the reason is Warframe is mostly a PvE game, it's not a PvP game. So what that means is you're not actually say if you don't have a helmet, you're not actually facing someone with that helmet, right? So that slight advantage or disadvantage is not that noticeable when you're facing just random enemies. But having said that, for those sort of players that really do want a bit of specialized build, that do give them that ultimate build at the end, it is okay to spend a minute money on non-obtainable helmet anymore. But at this stage, because these helmets have been around for so long, a lot of people have them, and what that means is they really shouldn't be that expensive. Up to 40 plat is reasonable, but I wouldn't spend any more on that these days. Now, I have seen some people in chat, they will say something like, oh, selling a Arcane Aurora Frost helmet for 1k plat, and in bracket, I'm not trolling. I mean, if you don't feel you're trolling, why do you feel obligated to put in bracket that you're not trolling? It's that kind of thing. Even if you feel that you can't sell it, I mean, are you actually expecting people to pay you, 1,000 plat for a helmet? Come on, right? You're just wasting your time and everyone else's time. Now, with regard to the other parts, as far as I can tell, all the information I provided in my previous video are still very current. There haven't been many major changes. The most recent major change actually happened just before my first video, and that was with the release of the Legendary course, which caused a massive price drop with old rank 10 mods. So currently, there's some changes with Prime parts, because obviously the latest change with the release of certain Prime parts. So these days, generally I would say any Prime part, if you can sell for 10 plat, is good. The only exception to that is Rhino Prime chassis, Rhino Prime BP, and Boulder Prime BP. Those three items, I wouldn't sell it more than 40 plat, so anything between 40 to 50 plat is a good deal. But having said that, if you're someone like me who actually plays the game a lot, who play for fun, and not really just focusing on selling, for plat, and if you have something like 43 Boar Prime part blueprints, it's perfectly fine selling a part or a blueprint for 5 plat, or even less. I mean, I would sell a Boar Prime blueprint for 1 plat, right? the only reason I usually don't do that is because it's a waste of a trade. If they give me infinite trades, I will sell 3 Warframe blueprint for 1 plat because, plat is plat, but a blueprint here is, what, 2,500 credit each. So basically that's as much as I want to talk about trade at this stage. I do just want to quickly mention, some of you may be redirected here from either Reddit or the Warframe forum. If you have any questions for me, please leave it in the YouTube comment section. Don't leave it in the forums. I usually answer every YouTube comment question that has been asked of me. I don't usually check back into the forums. So yeah. So I've had a lot of people messaging me about trading, asking me specific questions. I have this one viewer, really nice guy. He was like, hey look, I check out your videos quite regularly, and I see every week you make about 1,000 plat. How do you do it? What can I do it? And the thing with that is, even though that's true, that's only really half the story. Because I have a lot of prime parts, I have a lot of mods, and I have a lot of credits. The way, that this game goes is you need stuff that people want in order to sell their stuff, right? So for a new player who say only have about 50 hours of gameplay in this game, I mean sure, I'm sure you have a few things that other people want, but you don't really have that much, right? And you can't expect to make 1,000 plat in a week if you don't have stuff to sell. Because the thing with plat is, I mean, some people, use it, spin it really casually, but for other people, you gotta remember, plat is something that people spend real money to get. Tradable plat anyway. Someone at some point spent real money to get it, right? And they're not gonna just give it to you for something you can get in the game for 5 minutes. Every 5 minutes, right? Because sometimes you do get lucky and get a really good reward at 5 minute point. So what that means is, I definitely don't recommend sitting in chat for 2 hours trying to sell something that's either not worth a lot or trying to sell something that is actually quite decent, but you're selling it for 50 plat more than what it's worth, right? You actually find you get more profit if you just play the game, sell something at reasonable price, and then try to get something else and then sell that, right? Because I play this game for fun. I do make a lot of plat, but it's because I play the game so much, I got stuff that people want, and people will pay, good prices for them. And other people are asking me things like, trading strategies. How many products do you, put on Trade Chat? Some people will say, when I put stuff on Trade Chat, everyone is posting and then it just disappears. That is true, but trust me, if you put something, say, a max duration for 10 plat, don't get me wrong, I would never recommend that. These days at least, but if you do that, you will probably get 10, 20, 50 messages, right? People do read, people don't respond usually, it's because your prices are either very average or you're not selling something that people want. So I wouldn't worry too much about, people posting really fast and then your ad disappears. Those people that are serious about buying, they do look, and if you put good deals on, people will buy. So that's pretty much all I want to talk about trading at this stage. For those of you that are just here for trading, thanks for coming. Please like, comment, and subscribe. For those that want to sort of stay around for a bit more discussion, please stay tuned. So the next announcement I want to quickly make is really a clarification. So about 24 hours ago or so, I uploaded a Enstrom and Cypress video. And I had a few people raging over the fact that I completely trashed the Cypress. How, I was saying it's definitely not worth a catalyst, not worth formers and whatnot. And then after I read the comments, I kind of realized, the thing with this game is there is a lot of players, right? And you can't really make a video that suits every player. And I sort of, was talking or discussing from my personal perspective. And my perspective on this occasion is basically I'm a very plat, conservative spender. I've never spent plat on anything other than slots as far as the market goes. Don't get me wrong, I have bought things with plat in Trade Chat, but as far as the market goes, I've only ever spent it on blocks. So in other words, what I was really saying was, for those people that are like me or don't have a lot of catalyst or don't really have a lot of plat, I recommend saving your catalyst and former for another weapon and not on a Thybris. Because currently in this game, for every situation, there is another weapon that is better than a Thybris. But having said that, if you are someone who have a lot of plat, who spends plat quite casually, who have a large reserve of catalyst, by all means, put in a catalyst. And it's the same with every weapon, no matter how good or bad the weapon is, even with your Brayton or your MK1 Brayton, putting a catalyst in that weapon makes it so much more fun, makes it so much more easier to level, and just makes the experience, completely different. So that's to clarify that. In the future, if I were to make videos, I'll still sort of come from my kind of perspective, and I guess, for audiences, take away what you find useful, right? If you completely disagree with something, that's perfectly fine. Do what you like to do, do what you find fun to do. These videos are, meant to help people, and if it helps you in one point, but, completely just wrong to you in a different point, that's perfectly fine. Take away what you find helpful and then ignore what you didn't find helpful, if you like. Because I'm just another player. I never, participate in game development or anything like that. Everything I know about the game is from playing, and it's just the way that I like to play and the way that I see things, basically. Okay, so now let's talk about the discussion points. I mean, I could have just made a post about it, but hey, it's just much more fun, much more easier to talk about it. And I am playing the game right now, so this is, real time. I'm not sort of, making this as a background kind of thing. So the first sort of discussion point I want to make is frame changes or changes in the game in general, nerfs, buffs, community contributions, that kind of thing. So to begin with, I think the most current thing is Trinity's Blessing change, and then a while back it was Frost's Snow Globe change. Now, as far as I know, because I do watch a bit of, live stream, these changes were made partially because of complaints from players in the community, how they're saying these abilities make the game too easy, a bit boring, and they need to be changed. Now, the point of this discussion is actually just a discussion. It's one-sided because I'm the only one talking, but, I do assure you I don't agree or disagree with anyone here. I'm just talking and I'm trying to be as unbiased as I can, so no one's right, no one's wrong. But what I don't understand is, so, for some players that complain that these abilities make the game too easy and too boring, you do have two very viable options. One is not to use the frame or the ability in general, and the second option is don't, do a max build for them, right? For those that consider, Blessing to be too strong, don't put in your sort of narrow-minded, don't put in your continuity, don't put in your constitution, put something else in there, if you want to make the game more interesting. And then, of course, another complaint is, well, I jump into a game, and then there's a Trinity, or there's a Nova, and I don't actually do anything, and everything just dies, and I never die. Well, the option to that, of course, is you can play solo, you can play with your friends, there's no sort of obligation to, play online kind of thing. And if you do play online, you do have to take into consideration other players, and there are players, such as myself, that do want these sort of, quite good advantages. I know because, your sort of 80, 90 minute plus T3 survivals have never been the same since Trinity's invulnerability left. So yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, if you're one of those players that do, advocate for nerfs, I'm not saying you're wrong, just leave a comment, why do you prefer that? Why do you feel that, this implementation needs to be implemented by DE, and it's not something that you can do by yourself. Again, I'm not saying you're wrong or right, just, your perspective, and kind of sort of make myself and as well as some of the other viewers understand. That's, however, not to say, I don't appreciate nerfs or buffs in general, because I used to play StarCraft 2 a lot. I was in Master League for a lot, in sort of, team play as well as solo play. mostly solo plays. So I do know, the need to nerf and buff things. But the difference is in something like StarCraft 2, it's largely all PvP, right? And there's different races, so if one race get a certain buff, I know why players would rage because it makes it unfair kind of thing. But for something like Warframe, it's largely a PvE game, right? You're playing with other players against the computer or I usually. So why would you wanna, nerf yourself and give the computer that advantage kind of thing? But having said that, if that's what you want, then that's perfectly fine. But it's just not something that I completely agree with. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is dark sectors. Now, to clarify, I am in a clan by myself, a solo clan. I'm not part of any alliances, so definitely I'm not trying to help any clan or say anything bad about any alliances. It's just what I feel, what I see about dark sectors. But having said that, the thing with dark sectors for a player that's not part of an alliance is I play the game for experience, because dark sector gives more experience, as well as resources. And for something like Satura on Pluto, which is this map right here, which I've been playing quite a bit recently, it gives a massive credit boost. So you can get, usually 20 to 23,000 credit per, 5-way run, which is huge. It's like a sort of T3 survival, any T3 tower for that matter, right? So it's quite decent. Now, the reason I've been playing this map a lot is because the alliance that owns this map has made all the taxes 0. And they have, as far as I can tell, won, a lot of the sort of conflicts recently. And I would imagine that's because they're making all the taxes 0, and all the random sort of people in the community are supporting them. Now, the thing with dark sectors is, you have clans that give out massive rewards for supporting them, and then they will put taxes really high, and then you have clans that, give almost no rewards, and then they would say put the taxes at 0, that kind of thing, right? Now, as a player, what I recommend is if you see an alliance that is quite consistently putting the tax at 0 in a game that, or in a map that you play, I definitely recommend supporting them if you like those kind of support mobile defense maps. If you don't, don't worry about it. But if you do, I definitely recommend supporting them, because in the long run, it's just worth getting a low reward when you support them, and then a no tax when you are playing the map in general, because that will work out for you in the long run. And then, of course, you see clans that give out humongous rewards. I've seen clans that give out 75,000 credit per run as a sort of reward for supporting them. And then afterwards, you see them, putting the taxes up 20% for resource, 20% for credit, that kind of thing. I mean, don't get me wrong, if you're in it for the credit, it's nothing wrong supporting them. But if you are in it for the long run, it's probably not worth supporting them, just because they will put the taxes up, and then if you do play that map a lot, you actually end up giving a loss. And these mobile defenses are not like what they used to be. They do take a lot of time to complete. Sometimes you get, a couple terminals, each terminal is 3 minutes. If you want credit, just play this map, Satura, right? That'll actually give you a lot of credit in a very short period of time. As a player, and I know a lot of people in alliances would disagree with me, that's fine. Again, I'm not trying to say anything good or bad about people, but just as a player, that's playing on the solar map, what I ideally prefer to see is one clan, or a clan owning a solar rail, and then that is kept at 0, and then clans just don't challenge them. So we have tax at 0 always, and then those rails are not sort of challenged or destroyed, that kind of thing. And if a clan or alliance do challenge that clan, then everyone in the community, will support the clan that was already there, offering 0 taxes, because, that's what people in the community want, right? 0 taxes, and just have access to these solar rails. But having said that, I know that sounds a bit boring, and for people in clans, they definitely do want to contest, and that's fine. It's just different gameplay, and different players have different priorities, kind of thing. And if you are a player like myself, not in any alliances, leave it in the comments what you want to see. And if you're in a if you are in a clan or an alliance, write down what you think. Why do you want to put those taxes up? Why do you want to give out really high rewards? And why do you want to challenge a clan that has 0 taxes? Yeah, so that's pretty much as I want to talk about sort of Dark Sector right now. And I think I better end the video very shortly because I am killing myself a lot with this Anstrom. And at some point in the very near future, I feel I'm gonna run out of revives. So guys, I think that's all the point I want to talk about today. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And if there are other points that you're interested in or you want me to discuss, please leave in the comment section. If I get a lot of suggestions, I'll sort of do these talk discussion videos more regularly. If not, I'll leave it sort of to the massive updates kind of thing, and I'll leave it to when there's massive updates with regard to trading prices. Alright guys, thanks, cheers.